And boy, was this match full of drama. From the hard-hitting Ukraine, Dayana Yastremska, the 32 seed, taking on the world's number 2 and the number 2 seed, Aryna Sabalenka. Coming into this matchup, guys, a lot of people unfamiliar, but Dayana has never lost to Aryna Sabalenka. Similar styles, guys. They both can really crack. They both have powerful forehands. But I think in the past, Dayana was able to get away with those victories by using her athletic ability. Clay is a little different. You got to be a little bit more patient, and you have to be able to go to topspin. We've been seeing Sabalenka go with the high defensive balls recently, and I think that's an element she's added to her game, ladies and gentlemen. Dayana had her opportunities in the first set. She had 2 opportunities to break Aryna Sabalenka and could not do it, ladies and gentlemen, while forfeiting the 1 break to Sabalenka. She would lose the first set as Sabalenka, 65% of her first serves in play. She would win about 70% of the first serve, 73% on her second serve, 8-4-11. Dayana did struggle to get her first serves in play for much of the first set, only 58%. She also had a double fault, and again, not being able to convert on the break point. That was the key in the first set. Now, Dayana played a solid first set. She would go into the second set knowing she had to up the ante, and she would, guys, with the double fault. She would have 3 double faults in the second set, again struggling to get her first serves in play, only 61%, winning only 59% of the first serve. Her second serve win rate from 73% down to 35%, and Aryna Sabalenka would have 8 opportunities to break Dayana as her confidence would drop. And Aryna Sabalenka would finally defeat Dayana Yastremska from the hard-hitting Ukraine, and she advances, ladies and gentlemen. Aryna Sabalenka, and this match was very entertaining. You know, it wasn't going to be a handshake at the net. Now, Dayana did have her moments in the match, but overall, Sabalenka was able to just style and profile, much like her doing her Ons impersonation. It's funny, guys. Remember last tournament? Ons actually said that Aryna is her best friend on tour. She was joking. We all know that. Tatiana Maria is probably her best friend on tour. But nonetheless, guys, the battle for number 2, this was a very important match. And a lot of people, they're kind of not familiar with the ranking system and how it works. It's a running total of the last 365 days, guys, giving players the opportunity that won championships or went deep in draws to defend their points. And it makes sense, right? If you're a Grand Slam winner, let's say Iga's a Grand Slam champion at the Roland Garros, she should have the opportunity to defend her championship. And of course, since the tournament only happens once a year, you have to let those points stand for until that next tournament is played and completed again. So a lot of people, they're wanting the point system to change. Why? Because I mean, Coco's had the best, arguably, she's had the best season the last 12 months, definitely the last 10 months, you know? So it's like, I think it's a shame. It kind of reflects the world we live in. It's pretty sad, but at the same time, it's actually funny because, you know, these people only come out of the woodworks when, you know, they see someone so young doing so well, and, you know, they just have nothing better to do in their lives but just hate on a child teen phenom. Now, listen, guys, Coco was actually she was asked in her last post-match interview, or actually not necessarily asked, but, you know, the announcer mentioned, hey, Coco, you know, you have the opportunity to become world number 2 in this tournament if you know, have a deep run, and Sabalenka does not. Coco said, oh, really? I didn't know that. Coco's not watching, you know, the rankings. She's not worried about that. And Brad Gilbert mentioned that a lot of you guys think that Coco might be on TikTok or dancing or doing other teenage things. He said no, she's working hard behind the scenes, and Coco's not even aware of the ranking. This is something we argue about on the blogs and in my videos and posts. And at the end of the day, guys, it's just a game. It's entertainment for me. So I hope you guys aren't taking it too personal. It's fun. We can argue back and forth, and I can make you guys aware of all the accomplishments that Coco has achieved in her career. And I'll say it again, there's no player on the WTA tour that has had a more successful teenage career right now than Coco. Not Iga, not Sabalenka, not Rebecca, not Ons, not Caroline Garcia, not Madison Keys. No one. Coco's had the biggest teenage impact on this generation of tennis. And for people to acknowledge that like it hasn't happened, I think it's sad. It's kind of reflects, again, the world that we live in. But as I say all the time, this channel is about giving players their flowers and respecting all of these amazing, talented athletes for what they do. When I see players not being acknowledged for their accomplishments and just receiving so much negative energy for no reason at all, then it's probably right to address it. And again, I've said this, a lot of this is the Eastern media. This is not the Western media. We praise Coco with the utmost respect. It's the Eastern media, and what I really feel is going on is that Coco's so popular, she's making so much money that they're trying to balance this with some of the older players that have been on tour that possibly hasn't received as much recognition, that are finally starting to shine. Like Aryna Sabalenka, guys. She's had a rough early part of her career, a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, and she didn't have a good reputation. But I've said in the past, if you really watch this channel, I do think Sabalenka is blossoming into a very classy woman. I love how she's showed her mental maturity and growth. And I think it's good for her as a woman and a person and a professional athlete. As I see Sabalenka now, she's embracing the fans more. A lot of times in the past, she just walked by the fans. She's now embracing them more. She's showing a lot more love. So I appreciate the growth that she's been able to display. And I also sympathize with all the pain and trauma that she's gone through off the court with losing loved ones. I think she's an amazing person and she's an amazing athlete. And this race for number 2, it's entertainment at the end of the day. It's to keep us watching and glued to the TV. But we have to acknowledge that who's ever 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doesn't matter. They're all amazing athletes with one goal in mind, and that's giving the fans good entertainment while displaying the best professional athlete that they can be. And that's a Jordan fist pump right there. Dayana, you know she's not going to shake the hand of Aryna Sabalenka as Sabalenka flexes the tiger. Remember on, she said, look, I got to get one of those big tigers on my arm. Maybe I'll do a little bit better. Yes, guys, that's a Jordan fist pump as she defeats, finally, look at the tiger. Look at the tiger there. For the first time ever, she defeats Dayana Yastremska. What's next for Sabalenka? Ooh, it's going to get interesting. She's going to take on either the winner of Anna Kalinskaya or Aryna Svitolina. Last time she faced Svitolina at the Roland Garros, a very entertaining match. Again, no handshake, a lot of drama. She would win that match in straight sets. The last time she faced Anna Kalinskaya, she beat her too. Now, she owns a head-to-head 2-1 against Svitolina, 3-1 against Anna Kalinskaya. Either way, it's going to be a good match, and don't expect a handshake if Svitolina wins. Tennis in a minute. We'll be back, guys. Show some love. Hit the super thanks. Like the video. See you soon.